Introduction to Emilee Anonymous by Fred Carroll. Emilee plus parents plus life equal an attempt of suicide. It was her decision. Nira had a similar experience and succeeded. They will meet within their middles. The place where suicide takes you is unknown, but this just may be it. A beautifully written debut by an upcoming novelist in the likes of Stephen King, Dean Koontz, Elmore Leonard. Suicide may remove you successfully from the living, temporarily solving the issue at hand, but trust me, where it takes you is not heaven. Emilee, let's take the journey into the darkness together. Emilee Anonymous by Fred Carroll. At one point in my life, I have written 2 best-selling novels. On the Edge of 17, my debut, and Raising Riley, have both reached #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list, and both are available in multiple languages. I have won numerous awards for my literary and humanitarian efforts, all while receiving positive reviews for both my style and genre. The business of writing used to praise my success. Robert H. Bromwell, if the words he wrote were oxygen, with his the world could breathe. If you met me today, you wouldn't believe this. I hardly believe it myself. After years of anonymity, the world moved on without me. I am a shadow of my old self, a broken and lost version, so fragile and empty, with little desire to live. My family has given up on me, although I don't blame them. No one remains. My closest friends are the ghosts that fill my mind. They rarely leave me alone, and I always know when they're near. They speak directly to me, hidden in the darkness, lurking, whispering softly, until I nearly go insane. Do it. Do it, Robert. Do it. But I never do. I don't know if I can take much more, although I don't know how to end it. I'm drowning every day, slowly from the inside out. This medicated, pathetic life, which I, admittedly, self-created, has become a full-blown addiction. I have heard life is what you make it, and I've made mine of shit. My name is Robert, and I'm an alcoholic. This is my first attempt in writing in over 3 years. The 9th of August. No matter how many times I have tried to erase it, the event and the results never die. With all of my efforts, it remains the one thing on my mind. It was the final day, her final moment. I just can't forget, and it haunts me every minute. Every night that I was at home, I watched Neri asleep, often leaning against her bedroom doorframe while sipping my evening cocktail and erasing my day away. This bedtime moment inspired me every night. Just seeing her perfect round face eliminated the fatigue. She was perfect to me. I'd admire how her tiny fingers clutched her tattered blanket to her chest and how it rose with every breath, and how her hair rested peacefully still on the pillow while she dreamt sweetly, so peaceful and picturesque. At times she would speak. Her words usually made little sense, but they were from her, and so I listened. On other nights, for a moment so slight, she would giggle, an innocent response to what she may have been dreaming. It always made me smile. A need to steal one more kiss would come over me, and so I would. First, I removed my shoes, placing them side by side outside her bedroom door. While trying not to wake her, I'd tiptoe across the floor, maneuver past all the scattered toys around my feet like a soldier in a minefield. Her eyes always opened as I approached, sensing my presence. They always reclosed with a simple kiss on the bridge of her nose. It was magical, and it always a special moment. I'd sit on the edge of her bed until I knew she was back to sleep, stroking her hair, brushing away from her perfect face until her gentle snore resumed. It never took long. Before leaving, I would place one last loving kiss on her cheek and then tiptoe away in the dark. I'm unsure if she ever knew I did this, and unsure if she ever will. She's gone. I miss her gently placed kisses and her crooked little mouth, the way the dimple on her left cheek deepened with the width of her smile. I miss her hands resting on my face, touching my stubble, massaging my skin before nuzzling me cheek to cheek. Her kisses before going to bed were simply the best. It began with the patter of footy pajamas sliding on the wood floor that always let me know she was on her way. I'd pretend I didn't know she was behind me and continue typing. She'd sneak up on me while shushing my wife with her full voice. Of course I could hear her, but the innocence in that moment made it all the more memorable. I'd whip around before she grabbed me and swoop her into my arms. Then when the tickle monster attacked her weak spots until she begged me to stop. We did this every night until she stopped at around age 10. After begging me to stop, she would hug me tight, her voice softly whispering in my ear, "Night-night, Dada, night-night." It's impossible to explain what it feels like to lose a child. The best I could say is the words meant the world, but it's the kisses I miss the most. It's never feeling her skin pressed gently against my face. It's her as a whole, laughing, smiling, and making me do the same. I regret taking the routine for granted and thinking it could never end. I regret not being there to save her when she needed me most. Ever so often she appears from out of nothing, dancing with a childlike innocence across my kitchen floor. Her hair pulled back perfectly in a low pony, and her face concealed with enough stage makeup to add 10 years to her age. I always buy into the moment, sit up from my drunken slouch, and give my full attention. Her never-ending smile stretches cheek to cheek, and it never leaves her face. She taps her tiny feet against the tile floor, raising her hands to her lips, while blowing kisses toward my face. I pretend to catch them in my fist and store them in my pocket. That always made her smile, and it still does. Flawlessly, she ends the routine without a hitch, bends her knee with an unbalanced curtsy, smiles, and waves goodbye. I beg her to stay, I plead for her to speak, but she never does. In a flash, she disappears just as quickly as she appeared. The room goes dark, and the shadows return. Nevertheless, she isn't actually here. It's merely a drunken mirage I've made up in my mind. They're the memories locked away deep down inside, which emotionally trigger unwillingly. Her kisses never find my face, and my happiness fades away. On one hand, I'm happy to endure the pain of being able to see her. On the other hand, I could live without it, although the choice isn't mine to make. It took me a long time to accept her death as self-inflicted. When her mother had finally found her, she had died on her bedroom floor, with a short handwritten note crumpled in a ball beside her, and an empty pill bottle resting loosely in her lifeless hand. There was never a chance to save her. We'd never seen signs of her being upset or depressed. Her social life appeared active, and we provided her with everything she needed. Her grades were average, but the teachers always spoke positively about her personally, often commenting on her ability to write. I believed in her, but I always was too busy. My life, my next book, my traveling for my fans always took center stage. We never recognized the cries for help. She always smiled. Now I question whether the smile was real, or if I missed any false grins that she gave me in passing. But I will never know, and I will never forgive myself for it.